Hi, Joe Garma, GarmaOnHealth. Today I'm going to do something pretty unusual, and that is post a personal video on my blog. I expected that I'd be doing more of this, but I haven't done much of it yet. Today I want to do it because my sister has kindly accepted to have her story be told a little bit here, and this is about some dramatic weight loss capabilities that is fairly well known among people who do the research in this world, in the internet, and among actors and actresses and what have you, but generally not to the common person. It's a diet where you can safely lose a pound a day, and so I want to kind of tell you about it. So, this is Carolyn, my sister.
Hi.
So, Cara, you have for a lot of your life fought the battle of the bulge, and like a lot of people, you've gone up and down, up and down, up and down. So, tell us what you found here.
Well, I started what's called the hCH protocol, and it's a diet where you take a hormone called hCH, and I've been doing the injection, so I inject one every day, a dose of the hCH, and then I eat a 500-calorie diet a day.
So how is that possible to subsist on a 500-calorie diet a day?
Well, the theory is that this hormone releases what Dr. Simeon, who's the doctor who invented this whole thing in the 50s, it releases what they call abnormal fat storage that isn't usually accessible to the body. And so the 500 calories is offset by the absorption of this burning of this abnormal fat. So in fact, you can burn between 1,000 and 4,000 calories of the abnormal fat per day. Therefore, you can lose a pound.
And is that why you don't find yourself very hungry, even with 500 calories? Because the rest of your requirements, your caloric requirements, are being used by the fat storage.
Correct.
And that's what fat storage is supposed to be. For lean times, you're supposed to be able to use your fat.
Right.
But most of us eat more than we need, and there's other reasons for fat to be stored even above the normal calorie in, calorie out these days, because they think because of the way insulin levels work with things like fructose corn sugar and high simple carbohydrates, that people are gaining fat in an unnatural way and not being able to use that very readily when they reduce their caloric intake and diet through diet and through exercise. Mm-hmm. So you've done the typical Weight Watchers and the myriad of different things, and it's worked for a time, but then you kind of gain stuff back, sometimes even more than what you've lost.
Yeah, I would say any time that I've embarked on a diet, I was actually, I'm always very successful on a diet, but then generally gain that amount of weight plus more back. The other thing one of the reasons I'm doing the hCH is part of the theory of hCH is it also resets your metabolism. And I've had a very sluggish metabolism, and as we all know, your metabolism can get out of weight by yo-yo dieting. And so, after you do the hCH protocol, your metabolism is resetted. Not that you can eat whatever you want, but it's just set more at a normal level. Okay,
then with that as an introduction, Cara, let's talk a little bit about how you learned about it, what the process is in general, and I'll write up some more details attendant to this video on GarmaOnHealth.com, and why you think it's working, your experience of the whole thing. Okay, so let's get into that. So first, you already said that it comes in various forms, this hormone, and you have a form that you inject. There's also subliminal formulations and that come
sublingual
that you put on your tongue, and some stuff that you shoot at the roof of your mouth. But you found the person who's leading you through this, who's a naturopath, is she? Naturopath. And a lot of times this hCH diet is guided through a naturopath or another health practitioner. She told you that all the studies show that the injectable form is better. Why is that?
Well, what my naturopath said, the reason I'm doing the injection, because I actually wanted to do it without the injections, because I thought, oh my God, injecting yourself every day. My naturopath is also, she's very scientific, and she said that there isn't data that shows that the sublingual is as effective as the injections. And so she said that until she sees that in writing somewhere, and that there's been studies done, that she just recommends the injections to do it.
And how tough is that? It's a diabetic type needle?
It's actually a diabetes needle. It's very small. It really doesn't hurt. I really was not thrilled about having to do it. but it really doesn't hurt at all, and it's a simple thing to
All right,
do.
so there's millions and millions of diabetics every day in this country and around the world who do this. So obviously, it's not a big thing if that many people
Right.
can do it.
Right. It's not a big thing, and I think the jury's still out on the homeopathic, etc. If it works as well. I think people still lose a lot of weight from my research that I've done with the homeopathic and the sublingual. But the question is it the pure fat, or are they just losing weight? It does curb the hunger, just like the injections do. But the question is, which weight are they losing, and do they gain that back? One of the things that impressed me, one of the reasons I decided to do this program, is that my naturopath said that the findings and the studies on this are that I think it was 60 to 70% of the people keep the weight off, and that's remarkable, really, for dieting. I don't know what the regular statistics are, but it's probably like 10-20% of people are really successful and keep weight off.
All right, well, let's get down to the nitty-gritty of it. You've been on this for now.
It's been 18 days. This is my 19th injection this morning.
And what's been your average daily weight loss?
It was a lot more in the beginning, and but basically I've lost 17 pounds in 18 days.
So that's remarkably fast, right?
Remarkably fast.
And most people who hear that, who study dieting, would say, as we did, and we'll get into a little bit how we learned about this through our mother, we'd say this is crazy, this is not healthy, this is not sustainable, you're going to gain it all back. You had all those thoughts and you were very resistant about it.
Yeah.
How did you learn about this whole thing?
Well, my mom did it. She actually did that. You can do more than one round, and she successfully, I think she lost, 50 some pounds on it.
Over what's called 3 rounds. And what's a round?
A round is you can go on it. The minimum you do the program for is 26 days, but you can go up to 40 days.
And that's a round.
That's a round. And so she did 3 of those rounds.
And how much time do you stay in between?
The in between, there's some. If you don't take time down in between, you can actually develop an immunity.
By time down, you mean getting off the hormone.
Getting off the hormone.
In between rounds.
In between rounds, you can actually get a immunity to the hormone, and then it doesn't work successfully. And the other thing that they do with this is you do the diet, that 500-calorie diet, for, say, I'm actually doing it for 30 days. 28 injections, and then 2 days at the end that you stay on the diet until the hormone is completely out of your system. But then after that, you go on, it's basically 6 weeks of maintenance. And the first 3 weeks, you have no carbs or sugar. And it's sort of like, it's a locking in phase, they call it, where the weight loss is locked in. And then after that, you slowly add the carbs and sugars back in, and you're good to go. If you've reached your normal weight, and
you're good to go, meaning live your life normally.
You can live your life, and you can eat normally, and your metabolism is reset. It works with the hypothalamus. Your metabolism is reset, and you just have a little bit more normal. You can eat normally and not gain weight.
Okay, so let's get back to what your resistance was as we experienced through our mother this whole thing, almost during almost a year. That she was on it and off it through the different rounds. She did 3 rounds, right?
3 rounds.
And she encouraged you to do it, and you had a lot of resistance.
I had a lot of resistance.
And I was wondering about the sanity of this as well.
Right. I think, our mom has always tried a lot of things, and some of them really work, and most of them don't. And so I thought it was just sort of another fad thing that she was doing. I thought that the injections were crazy. I mean, I didn't research enough, but I thought the injections were crazy. Who would inject themselves every day with a hormone? How is that going to mess up your system? The 500 calories, which is essentially 200 grams of protein a day and 2 vegetables, and you can't mix vegetables. It's very precise the way the protocol is. It just sounded like quackery to me. But, she lost the weight. She wasn't hungry. And she seems to be keeping it off. Yeah. I mean, she finished it in May, 5 months ago, and she's kept it off.
Okay. Well, that's good information, Carolyn. Thanks for all of that. Before we go, how about if you show our viewers what the hCH, the injectable form, looks like and how you do it? I mean, I don't expect you to actually inject yourself. That might be a personal thing, but kind of give a feel for what it's all about.